She said, "The baby isn't yours, but a real man would step up." I replied, "Then I'm clearly not one." Then I packed her belongings, filed an eviction notice, and sent the DNA results to her ultra-religious parents. She said it like she was doing me a favor. "The baby isn't yours," she shrugged, arms crossed, "but a real man would step up." For a second, I actually laughed. Not because it was funny, but because my brain needed time to catch up to the audacity. Quick background. I'm Daniel, 31M. She's Kara, 28F. We'd been together just over 4 years. Living in my house for 2. The one I bought before we met. The one she liked to call our place when it suited her. I stared at her, waiting for the punchline. None came. "So," I said slowly, "you cheated, got pregnant, and now you're testing my masculinity?" She rolled her eyes. "God, don't be dramatic. It just happened. And honestly, this says more about you than me." That's when something in me went completely cold. "Then I'm clearly not one," I replied. She blinked. "What? A real man?" I repeated. "I'm clearly not one. So you'll need to find someone else to play dad." She scoffed, but there was a flicker of panic there. "You're not serious. You're not just going to abandon me." I didn't raise my voice. I didn't insult her. I just walked past her and grabbed my phone. That night, while she ranted about responsibility and maturity and how her friends would never date a guy like me, I booked a paternity test appointment, paid extra for expedited results. Then I started doing something she didn't notice at first. I opened the hall closet, the one with her coats, her shoes, her boxes of seasonal stuff she never unpacked. I pulled out a stack of trash bags. "Kara," I said calmly, "you should probably call someone to pick you up." She laughed. "You're bluffing." I wasn't. Because when someone tells you who they really are, especially while insulting you, you don't argue. You prepare. And by the time the DNA results came back, her life was already packed neatly by the door. She didn't believe me at first. Kara stood there with her arms folded. Watching me bag her things like this was a tantrum I'd get tired of halfway through. She even smirked when I started with the obvious stuff: clothes, shoes, makeup cluttering the bathroom sink. "You're really leaning into the overreaction," she said. "Hormones are a thing, you know." I didn't respond. Silence unnerves people like her more than yelling ever could. I worked methodically. Shirts folded, dresses hung, then slid into garment bags. Jewelry placed carefully into the box she kept hidden behind sweaters. Not because I respected her, but because I respected myself. No chaos. No excuses later. "You're acting like I betrayed you," she scoffed. "It's not like I planned this." That was the first time she sounded defensive instead of superior. "You told me the baby isn't mine," I said without looking up. "Everything after that is logistics." She laughed again, louder this time. "So what? You're just going to throw me out? Pregnant?" I finally looked at her. "Yes." Her smile flickered. "You can't legally do that." "I can't," I said. "And I am." She started pacing then, ranting about how heartless I was, how any decent man would understand that biology didn't matter, how her friend's cousin raised a kid that wasn't his, and that was real love. I let her talk, because while she was busy reframing betrayal into a morality test, I was already several steps ahead. That night, after she slammed the bedroom door and called someone crying loudly enough for me to hear every word, I sat at the kitchen table and pulled up a local attorney's website. Tenant law, notice requirements, timelines. Her name wasn't on the deed. Her name wasn't on the mortgage. Her name wasn't on the utilities. She wasn't my partner anymore. She was a guest who'd overstayed and crossed a line she couldn't uncross. By the time she emerged the next morning, eyes puffy, tones suddenly soft, the eviction notice was already drafted. She looked at the bags by the door and whispered, "You're serious?" I nodded. "You should start packing the rest." And for the first time since she'd said the baby wasn't mine, she looked genuinely afraid. The tone changed fast after that. Not softer, strategic. Kara stopped yelling and started negotiating. She followed me around the house, rubbing her stomach like a prop she'd just remembered she had. "You're really going to do this to a pregnant woman?" she asked, voice shaking just enough to sound rehearsed. "Do you have any idea how that looks?" "I'm not worried about how it looks," I said. "I'm worried about facts." She scoffed. "Facts? The fact is I need stability right now. Stress is bad for the baby." "That baby has a father," I replied. "It's just not me." That's when she snapped again. "You're such a coward," she said. "A real man wouldn't hide behind paperwork and tests. He'd step up even if it's hard." I paused, slowly, finally gave her my full attention. "You cheated," I said. "You lied. And then you insulted me for not cleaning up your mess. Don't talk to me about courage. She looked away first. That afternoon, I served her the eviction notice. Printed, signed, dated, perfectly legal. 30 days. She stared at the paper like it might dissolve if she hated it hard enough. You're serious about this? She asked. I've never been more serious. She tore into me then, called me selfish, emotionally stunted, toxic, weak. Said her parents would be disgusted with me. That God would judge me for abandoning a child. That last part almost made me smile. Because she had no idea what I'd already done. The DNA test appointment was confirmed for the next morning. She tried to refuse when I told her. You don't trust me? She asked, fake hurt layered thick. No, I said. I trust science. That night, she packed a small overnight bag and left to stay with a friend. Slammed the door like she was the one walking away. The house felt lighter immediately. Quiet. Peaceful. And when my phone buzzed with the lab's confirmation email the next day, I knew this was about to get a lot messier for her. Because if she thought calling me not a real man was the worst mistake she'd made, she hadn't met consequences yet. The results came in faster than I expected. I was at work when the email hit my inbox. Clinical subject line, no emotion attached. I didn't open it right away. I already knew what it would say. Still, confirmation has weight. Probability of paternity, 0%. I exhaled once. Slow. Controlled. When I got home, Kara was already there. Sitting on the couch like she still belonged. She'd let herself in with the spare key she hadn't returned. Belly forward, chin lifted, defiant by default. We need to talk, she said. I set my bag down. I agree. She launched into it before I could say more. About how scared she was. About how I was overreacting. About how any man with integrity would put feelings aside and focus on what mattered. You think this test proves something? She snapped. Families are built on love, not DNA. I pulled my phone out and forwarded the email to myself again. Then I slid it across the table so she could read it. Her eyes scanned the screen. For the first time since this started, she didn't have words ready. It could be wrong, she said weakly. Those tests mess up all the time. Not this one, I replied. And not twice. Her voice sharpened. So what, you're just done? You're going to ruin my life over this? No, I said calmly. You did that when you tried to shame me into accepting it. She stood up fast, anger replacing panic. My parents are going to find out. Do you have any idea what they'll do to me? That stopped me. What do you mean going to? I asked. She froze. Kara's parents were deeply religious. Public image obsessed. Church every Sunday, appearances matter, reputation is everything people. They still thought we were working through things. They still thought I was the father. I nodded slowly. I see. That night, I changed the locks. The next morning, I printed copies of the DNA results. And I opened my email. Because if she wanted to talk about responsibility, we were about to involve the people she'd been lying to the longest. I didn't send the email right away. Not because I hesitated, but because timing matters when truth is involved. Kara showed up that afternoon banging on the door, pounding like she still had a claim to the space. I watched her through the window for a moment before answering. You changed the locks? She shouted. Yes. You can't just erase me. I met her stare. You erased us the moment you tried to bully me into raising someone else's child. She switched tactics instantly. Tears. Trembling hands. Voice dropping into something fragile. Daniel, please. My parents can't know like this. You don't understand how they are. That confirmed everything. They still think I'm the father, I said. She nodded slowly. They think we're engaged. They've been praying for us. I almost laughed. Almost. You let them believe a lie, I said. And you expected me to live it. She reached for my arm. I stepped back. I'll handle it, she said quickly. I'll tell them later. When things calm down. You don't need to be involved. You made me involved, I replied. The moment you said a real man would step up. That night, after she finally left, sobbing into her phone in the driveway, I sat at my desk and typed carefully. Subject line, important information regarding Kara. No insults. No commentary. Just facts. I attached the DNA results. Explained the timeline. Explained that I was not the father, that she had admitted it herself, and that I would no longer be involved. I hit send. Within 15 minutes, my phone rang. I didn't answer. Then another call. Then another. Voicemails stacked up fast. Her father first, then her mother. Shocked. Confused. Angry. Broken. I muted everything and went to bed. For the first time in weeks, I slept deeply. Because no matter what chaos followed, the truth was out. And it wasn't mine to carry anymore. The fallout didn't arrive all at once. It trickled in. First, Kara stopped coming by. Not because she accepted it, because she was busy managing the explosion I dropped into her life. Mutual friends started reaching out instead. Vague messages. Careful wording. Hey man, what's going on with Kara? She's really upset. Her parents are freaking out. I replied to none of them. 2 days after I sent the email, her mother showed up at my door. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity won. She looked smaller than I remembered. Not angry, not righteous, just tired and shaken, clutching her purse like it was armor. Daniel, she said quietly, may I come in? I stepped aside. She didn't sit, just stood in the living room, eyes scanning the space Kara used to occupy. The couch, the shelves, the absence. She told us some things, her mother said carefully. I'm sure she did, I replied. Her lips trembled. Is it true? The test? Yes. Silence stretched, thick and uncomfortable. She said you were cruel, her mother whispered. That you abandoned her. I set boundaries, I said. She crossed them. Her mother nodded slowly, like someone rearranging beliefs in real time. Her father hasn't spoken to her since the email. I didn't respond. She's staying with her aunt now, she added. The church, people are asking questions. That, more than anything, told me Kara's version of the story wasn't holding up. Her mother finally looked at me. Were you ever the father? No. She closed her eyes. Then I'm sorry. 2 words Kara never said. After she left, my phone buzzed nonstop. Kara this time. Message after message. How could you do this to me? They won't even look at me. You ruined everything. I read them once. Then I blocked her number. Because accountability feels like cruelty when you've never been held to it. And I was done being her shield. Blocking her didn't bring silence. It brought escalation. Within days, I started hearing about her through other people. Friends I hadn't spoken to in months suddenly checking in. Co-workers asking vague questions. Someone even left a note on my car windshield telling me to do the right thing. I tore it up without reading past the first line. Kara had switched strategies again. Since she couldn't reach me directly, she started rewriting the story publicly. I was cold. I was controlling. I kicked out a pregnant woman with nowhere to go. I was punishing her for a mistake. What she didn't mention was the cheating, or the lie, or the sentence that started it all. A real man would step up. One evening, a mutual friend, Jake, called me. His voice was tense. She's saying you promised to raise the baby and then backed out, he said. Her parents think you manipulated the test. I actually laughed this time. That test came from a licensed lab, I said, and I never promised anything. There was a pause. She didn't tell it like that. I know, I replied. She never does. That same night, an email came through from her father. Short, controlled, no accusations. Daniel, I need to understand something. Please call me. I didn't. Instead, I forwarded him the original email again. The test. The timeline. Her own admission, written plainly. 10 minutes later, another email arrived. Thank you for being honest. That was it. No defense of her. No condemnation of me. Just truth acknowledged. After that, the rumors slowed. Not stopped, but dulled. People stopped asking me questions. Some stopped talking to Kara altogether. She sent one last message through a new number. You didn't have to destroy me. I typed back exactly one sentence. I didn't destroy you. I stopped protecting you. Then I blocked that number too. The house was quiet again. But this time, it wasn't just peaceful. It was final. I thought the worst of it was over. That was naive. A week after the last message, I came home to find a certified letter taped to my door. Kara's name was on the return address. Inside was a handwritten note, 3 pages long, looping script, stained in a few places like she'd pressed too hard with the pen. She wrote about forgiveness, about grace, about how God tests people in difficult seasons. She wrote that she'd made mistakes, yes, but that my reaction proved I lacked compassion, that I was running from responsibility, not her. At the bottom, she'd added a final line in sharper handwriting. My parents don't want to speak to me unless I fix this. Fix this. Like I was a broken appliance. I didn't respond. I shredded the letter and took the trash out. 2 days later, her aunt showed up. Same story as her mother, but louder. Accusatory. Standing on my porch telling me I'd ruined a family before it even started. I let her talk herself out. When she finished, I said one sentence. She cheated. The baby isn't mine. And she tried to shame me into staying. The aunt stared at me, stunned. That's not what she said. I know. She left without another word. That night, I updated my lawyer. Forwarded everything. Screenshots. Messages. The letter. Just in case. Because when someone realizes guilt won't work, they try pressure. When pressure fails, they try force. And Kara was running out of options. I wasn't scared, but I was done being reactive. From that point on, I stopped answering the door if I wasn't expecting anyone. I stopped engaging through third parties. I kept everything documented. Because the last thing people like her do is accept consequences quietly. And I knew one final move was coming. The last move came exactly how I expected it to. Legal. I got served papers on a Monday morning. Claims of emotional distress, wrongful eviction, financial coercion. Nothing concrete. Just enough accusations to scare someone who hadn't prepared. I smiled when I read them. Because I had. I forwarded everything to my lawyer. The lease history, the deed, the eviction notice, the DNA results, screenshots of her messages, including the one where she explicitly said the baby wasn't mine and that a real man would step up anyway. My lawyer called me an hour later. This won't go anywhere, she said. She's fishing. Good. That afternoon, Kara emailed me directly from a new address. Long furious. Desperate. She accused me of trying to ruin her relationship with God, with her parents, with her unborn child. She ended it with, "You could still fix this if you wanted." That was the clearest proof she still didn't understand. I replied once. Short, cold, final. All further communication should go through my attorney. Then I blocked that email too. 2 weeks later, the claim was quietly withdrawn. No apology. No explanation. Just gone. I heard through the grapevine that her parents had cut financial support, that the church elders were guiding her through accountability, that the actual father wanted nothing to do with her. Consequences have a way of multiplying when lies collapse. As for me, I felt lighter than I had in years. Not angry, not vengeful, just finished. And when I locked my door that night, it wasn't to keep chaos out anymore. It was to protect the peace I'd earned. Life didn't explode after that. It settled. The house stopped feeling like a battlefield and started feeling like mine again. I repainted the guest room, donated the last box of her things she never came back for, changed my routines, not to escape the past, but because I finally could. People stopped asking about Kara. Her name came up less and less, like a rumor that burned hot and then ran out of oxygen. I heard one last update months later. She'd moved back in with her aunt. Her parents were still distant. Church attendance was complicated. The baby's father never stepped up. Apparently, neither did the next guy she tried the real man speech on. Funny how that works. As for me, I learned something I wish I'd known earlier. Strength isn't staying when you're being disrespected. Responsibility isn't fixing problems you didn't create. And masculinity isn't proven by accepting humiliation quietly. The night she said, "The baby isn't yours, but a real man would step up," she thought she was issuing a challenge. She was actually handing me clarity. So when people ask why I didn't stay, why I didn't do the right thing, I don't argue anymore. I just say the truth. I did. Then I close the door, lock it, and keep building a life that doesn't require me to betray myself to be called a man.